So why do you think real-time reporting is an important skill for journalists to have?
We tend to think of news as a product because we had to put it in papers and little boxes or on shows, but the truth is news is a process. It never starts, it never ends. It's going on all the time. And it used to be also with news, we had to wait until the journalist was there before we could find out what was going on. Now, of course, every person has that device you're holding in your hand. All the witnesses can share what they know with the world as it happens. And so I think that changes our biorhythm of news. It's not just when the TV crew shows up or the journalist and the photographer show up. It's when witnesses can now tell the world what they know. And I think that puts a requirement on all of us in news then to be more live. So whether you're covering, let's say, Occupy Wall Street or Occupy Toronto and something's going on, you know people are there, and even if you're a news organization, you have to find the ways to take advantage of what you know. Or if you're live blogging a conference, people want to interact with that right then and there. And so there's a lot of reasons now to be live.
Mm-hmm. And how do you think journalists are accomplishing this real-time coverage so far?
I think journalists are getting better and better and better. If you look back at the earliest days, my children, of blogs and journalists, they tended to be rather dismissive of them. But now we really see, I think Twitter made a big difference. I think journalists understood Twitter first as a means to promote themselves and their articles, a marketing device, and then they got past that and realized that they could tell the world what they saw as soon as they knew it. Then they got past that and saw that they could use these tools to collaborate with the public on the reporting. And so I think Twitter, even more than blogs even, taught journalists the value of interacting live and immediately. And so they are always looking for new tools on ScribbleLive to figure out how to take this. Some of our students look at this first and think, oh my God, you're making me into an 8-armed monster. I can't do it all at once. And so simpler tools, I think, make it important for journalists to be able to feel empowered that they can do this, that they can tell the world what they know as it happens, and then move on, and then still do the rest of what they do. They still will come back and write stories and write analyses and pick up the phone and report. None of this gets rid of what we know of as journalism. It's just additive.
Right, that makes sense. So what skills do you think are new to journalism when it comes to reporting things in real time?
Well, we'll be using your tool here at CUNY, thanks to you. And we do teach students to do live blogging. We send them off. And, just the rhythm of that is different. My colleagues, Jeremy Kaplan and Sandeep Junarkar, I remember when Sandeep started doing this in class, he had to teach the students how to think of what they were looking for, to kind of write a pre-lead before it happened. It's a real skill to be able to listen to a flow of information and pick out the bits that matter. It's a skill to then know that you already have your notes ready for writing something, writing a blog post or a story. Being able to interact live with people, and when you're saying something going on, someone can come into you and say they've got a question, and you can see that on a back channel of one sort or another. That's a new skill. Being able to put down the keyboard, take up and do a photo or do a video, and get that intermingled, and knowing what's the best way to tell the story. These are all pretty darn new skills, but we at CUNY teach them all.
Yeah. And how much do you incorporate the ethical challenges that you face when you're pushing news out really quickly like that?
We do. I mean, the story that I usually tell is about the West Virginia mine disaster some years ago when we thought that most of the people had survived, and in fact most had died. And you saw on TV people running behind the cameras and cheering and church bells going off. And so what are you to do? You're to tell the world what you don't know. You're to tell the world, and I think that becomes the primary skill of the journalist now, is not to tell the world what you know, because we all know it instantly. The journalist is there to issue caveats, to issue conditions and say, this is what I don't know, this is how much this has been confirmed, this is what we still have to find out. And further, to ask the public, here's what I know, here's what I don't know, what do you know? And those are new skills. And yes, I think they're ethical challenges, but I think at some level or another, they're just informational challenges of understanding that we're no longer in a business where we know everything, which we thought we used to be.
Great. Well, thanks so much for taking the time.
Good luck.
I really appreciate it.